I saw both films. I remember vividly when they came out, and just loving them. They just felt so original. There was something so fun about that world and the family, and so I definitely had a little bit of that. Didn't want to go and revisit it because it was a couple of years back, and I think that was good because I think it was important for us to come up with something that felt just new. Well, Morticia is a bit of a classic character, right? I think she's really well known, and there are things about her personality that are just very underlined, and I didn't want to necessarily take any of those things away. She is stoic, and she has good posture, and she is very articulate, and you know, I think she's the mother hen in the family, and even Gomez would admit to that. So those were things that I wanted to hang on to, but I wanted to find a way, since this was an origin story, to you know, subtly bring her in when she was younger, when she fell in love with Gomez, and then slowly, once they've kind of moved in and had this family, that she really kind of like takes ownership of her leading role in this house and in this family. Yeah, Morticia and Gomez they're just meant for each other, and there's no denying it, and it just works. I know, I love the New Jersey aspect of it, because that is exactly where they would end up in this day and age, right? It's just perfect. Well, it's this abandoned kind of haunted mansion that's standing on a hill, very classic Addams Family environment. And I think it's an insane asylum, like a closed insane asylum. And there's like one last patient kind of like running away in a straitjacket. And so it's perfect. As soon as they see it, they fall in love with it, and it is creepy and abandoned and haunted and dusty and just perfect for them. I mean, I think they're a family that we know, and even if you don't, I think this film is a great end to this world of the Addams Family. But for those who do know the world, it celebrates who they've always been and what I think, you know, their origin has always been. And they are unusual, and they are fascinated by morbid stuff. And I think there's something so refreshing about it, right? I think we all want to believe that we live our lives authentically, especially within our family circle. And this, of course, is a family that is all the way to the extreme, but there's something that is very grounded because they love each other. So even though they're trying to kill each other, they love each other. And you really see that. I mean, they stick together and they protect each other. And but during all of that, yes, they definitely push each other's buttons and challenge each other, especially the kids. But I think at the core, why people really respond to the Addams Family is because ultimately they will always be Addamses, and they take pride in that, and they have never tried to change themselves for anybody. I love the relationship between the two of them because it's really at the core, it's a story about a mother just fearing that she's losing her relationship with her daughter, and it's a new stage. Wednesday is growing up. Yeah, definitely. I feel like what we think a family or the idea of family should look like, or what box it fits into, is definitely something that is brought up in this film in a way that reminds us that whatever we think is normal is something very different for each individual, and that I think this film is incredibly timely. Yes, of course, it's like a really fun film to go and see, but there is an underlying message that I think is a really strong one and an important one for this time in the world that we find ourselves right now, and that is that, you know, being different is not a bad thing, and that we need to celebrate that a little bit more, and the value of what being different gives when you're actually applying it to the mountain of things that a society needs. It's invaluable. And I love that I'm a part of something that carries that message right now in this time.
The great thing you see is this massive clash. I mean, even just the color clash from the pastels and the bright greens and yellows to the dark maroons and blacks and grays of the Addams Family mixing with the cookie cutter town. It's a really fun clash, and by the end of the movie, it's a wonderful wrap around how we have to appreciate each other's differences and how together all the different shades create a much more vibrant life than just one or the other. She's a teenager and she wants to make her mom mad a little bit and push the boundaries and find her own sense of freedom. And for her, I think she feels really confined inside the house and she really wants to get out there. I mean, I think one of the first things we see about her is that she goes up to the gate and she hears something beyond the gate and she wants to know what that is. And so she has a sense of wonderment about what is going on outside of their wonderfully haunted home. There's definitely, I think, a healthy amount of competition within the family. Pugsley is a typical little boy who's just really trying to quite literally set everything on fire and blow everything up that he can, and most specifically kill his father, because he does not want to be put through all the homeschooling, or as they call it, cage schooling that they do on a daily basis. And, I think Morticia is kind of your perfect mother figure in a very twisted way. She's the perfect mother figure and she loves her kids very much. But of course, Wednesday finds it overbearing. And then Gomez is honestly probably the most happy-go-lucky guy in the family. He might be the least dark and twisted of everyone in the pot. But my favorite character is Uncle Fester. I think Nick Kroll did an incredible job with him. And Uncle Fester, I think, he really, I don't know, he really gets me. He makes me laugh. The house is alive. The house is very grumpy. The house continues on a daily basis to tell everyone to get out very loudly. There's a great sequence where Morticia gives coffee to the house by pouring it into the toilet and flushing it, and the house calms down because it had its morning coffee. I think it's pitch perfect casting. I mean, you have everyone from Oscar Isaac to Charlize Theron to Nick Kroll to Bette Midler to Allison Janney to Finn Wolfhard. You have a really fun mix of people. The story, I think, felt so perfect for the world that we're living in currently and how we are ostracizing people for our differences. And this story really talks about accepting everyone for their differences and all of us being able to live together in harmony. So I think people will really enjoy, I think kids will really enjoy their first taste of the Addams Family in this movie because it is unlike any other story. There's nothing else you're going to see like it. So it's incredibly unique, it's incredibly authentic, and it's raucous and wild, and it's silly, but it's also got a lot of heart because it ultimately is about love and it is about supporting one another and supporting one another's differences.
I'm such a huge Addams Family fan. It's part of what completely attracted me to this project. I remember stumbling when I was a little girl, maybe even 6 or 7, on a coloring book in the attic of my grandma's house that was my mom's, and it was an Addams Family coloring book. And I think that's what sparked my whole love affair and curiosity about the Addams Family and how cool and spooky and kind of dark, yet such a family and so fun-loving they all were, a cast of characters. And obviously my life revolves around a cast of characters at all time, but we're all family and so close-knit and love to have fun and play upon the imagination. And that's truly what was so appealing to me as a kid, being exposed to Addams Family and seeing my mom's love for it and how it was part of her childhood. So it's passed on from generation to generation. I've showed it to my daughter, like the old Addams Family black and white TV show. So I have all the episodes of that. I'm just such a huge fan. And then there's the original animation that's just so unique and so creative and specific. It's really genius. And I'm just so happy to be a part of this Addams Family tradition and project. I mean, Morticia is the boss for sure. You know, the way she just has everything so poised and under control. And, she's also very sexy, like her little slinky outfits. And, she's great. That's a really fun character to play and really vamp up. But I have to say, in the movies, the Addams Family movies, Christina Ricci, like the way she invented that character was so different than the original TV character. And she really gave it this really cool, dark, interesting, funny, but very loving perspective. So, yeah, hats off to her rendition of that. The fact that the Addams Family they do stay true to themselves. They really live in their own world, in their own bubble, and they do appreciate unique qualities in people and each other. And yeah, it's a great, the whole sentiment has a great spirit to it. And it really ties into who I am as an artist as well, from, all of my music has sort of this intention, or it does have the intention to inspire and motivate and make people feel confident in their own skin, no matter, what you feel your imperfections or individual qualities may be that may make you feel alone, or, the black sheep, or, alienated. Those are all the qualities that are so beautiful and interesting and cool and fascinating to be, true to who you really are. And those are the messages from my stripped album to all of my music, from Fighter to Beautiful to everything that I represent. It always has an element of truly staying who you really are and feeling confident in that. The song truly appealed to me because it's such an opportunity to play up to a character. And it kind of has that soulful throwback retro feel that just gets you in a cool mood. Addams Family has such a history and background, and being that it started with black and white cartoon, black and white TV show into the films. I mean, it has such a amazing history, and the fact that this is a throwback song too kind of gives it that cool spin. The horn on it just has this really cool deep end rattle to it, and the beat of it is just, it's a really cool, like, old school shuffle. I was inspired to kind of take note off of Billie Holiday, Screamin' Jay Hawkins, who, does all that, like all that, like those little things that he does that makes him so interesting and fascinating as a character. The laughs and the surprises, and it's just not your, typical, like, let me sing a vocal to this song. So I got to really play and get into a character, and it reminded me of something, like a, cool Amy Winehouse, being a huge fan, would have loved to do as well. So, those were the inspirations going into singing the song. I think for Haunted Heart, I would just want people to just get into, I think, just the Halloween spirit, and not even just Halloween, but just it has that, great retro throwback soul appeal that I think everyone kind of, they have a special place in their heart for it. And just being into the mode of just having fun. And I hope it gets people in the Halloween spirit too, to be fun and want to be a little spooky.
He loves destruction and just kind of scary things in general. So, the whole Addams Family obviously does. It's the whole hook, but I think he just loves the chaos of it. Pugsley definitely has a lot of pressure with his uncle and his dad especially, I think, because he's just kind of he is not that confident in what he's doing. And his dad expects so much from him to sort of carry on the legacy and carry on everything. But he's just kind of a dope and a nerd, so it's hard for him to kind of it's hard for him to carry those things out. I think that the Addams Family are they're completely clueless onto why people treat them the way that they do. And, you know, in their household, everything is kind of the opposite of what a normal household would be. You know, instead of cleaning up, you're dusting. Instead of dusting the stairs, you're blowing dust and making it dirtier and more disgusting. And you know, they don't really understand the kind of inner world of a normal life. And, you know, I think the most important thing about the story and about, you know, just that family in general is that you should accept people no matter, you know, how whatever creepy or kooky or whatever they are. The embodiment of the Addams Family is just a complete exaggeration of what a real family is, like, to the fullest degree. You know, when people say, like, oh, like, they're brother and sister, like, and sometimes they want to kill each other, but, like, other times they love each other. But, like, in the Addams Family's world, it's true. They really do want to kill each other, but in the most loving way possible. I think kids are going to love it because it's just absolute kind of, it's these huge, giant set pieces, and, you know, it's all played for comedy, and these really kooky and crazy characters that we haven't seen in a long time. And so I think kids that are of this kind of day and age will really, really enjoy it.
They were looking for like new music, new tracks for the movie, but then they sent me this track as the official song for the movie, and I was crazy about that because I had like that dream, have perform one song for a movie was like a dream for me. So now I'm super happy, super excited. I admire all the artists in the song, Migos, Snoop Dogg. I know there is Christina Aguilera performing different songs of the movie. So for me, it's like super huge achieve to have my voice in this song. Super happy. The attitude and the power, all the things that I said in my verse, it's about like a family that love each other, support each other, like being for each other, in happiness, in sadness, in problems, in everything. So for me, I want to put like all my attitude, my power for my part, for my verse in this track. En realidad estoy súper emocionada porque siempre soñé con tener una canción en una película y que la película fuera algo que me gustara y me representara. Así que primero, la familia Addams o los locos Addams, como nosotros le llamábamos, es algo que recordamos desde que éramos niños y que ahora se lo están también poniendo a las nuevas generaciones. Así que tener mi voz ahí, primero, representando mi comunidad latina, me encanta, más ahora el momento tan lindo que está viviendo la comunidad latina en la música, que está como en un punto donde todo el planeta está poniendo los ojos. Y más en esta película, como dije, que es algo que ya recordamos las familias como tal, que se lo están poniendo a las nuevas generaciones, me parece increíble. Yo creo que yo me identifico de verdad definitivamente con la niña. De pronto no soy tan irreverente ni tan al extremo, pero eso es algo que me encanta de ella. Tiene una personalidad súper formada, súper fuerte, muy defensora de lo que ella misma siente y lo que ella misma es, y me encanta. Creo que al final del día detrás hay un mensaje positivo. Yo creo que todas las familias tienen algo particular y algo que las hace únicas. Mi familia, yo soy la menor de 3 hermanas. La verdad la pasamos increíble. Mis papás fueron padres muy jóvenes, entonces hemos crecido al lado de ellos y crecido en todos los sentidos. Nosotros cuando empezamos pues esta época de salir a la calle, de salir a discotecas, había momentos en los que salíamos con mis papás y las pasábamos súper rico en discotecas con mis papás. Somos muy unidos. Yo creo que eso es algo muy de los colombianos, en especial de donde soy, de Medellín, es que somos familias demasiado allegadas. A donde voy los extraño un montón, me encantaría llevármelos siempre a todos los lugares donde voy.
Growing up, I watched the TV series The Addams Family, and then the Addams Family Values movies were definitely something that I watched in the '90s when they came out, and also it's those movies have really kind of stayed in. They've really left an indelible mark on a lot of people around my age and a little younger. But I definitely watched the show when I was a kid. I remember hearing that they were doing the Addams Family, and then I knew that Oscar Isaac was going to be in it, and I had just done Operation Finale with him, and that Conrad Vernon was directing, who I'd done Sausage Party with, and I was like, I would love to be a part of this movie, and then they came to me with Uncle Fester, and I was like, that sounds about right. Well, I've worked with Conrad and Greg before on Sausage Party, which is not necessarily a family movie. But I had a great time with them. When you're working with directors, especially in the animation space, sometimes they're just incredibly talented artists, and sometimes they're also incredibly funny. And Greg and Conrad perfectly encapsulate the latter. They're incredibly talented artists with an impeccable visual sense who also have a tremendous sense of humor and whimsy. I think this story is relevant now in that, we are trying to learn how to celebrate individuality and let people sort of be okay with who they are and welcome different people in and not try to push people away because of whether they're exactly like their neighbors or not. We live in a country that is incredibly diverse and in a world that's becoming more and more diverse, and that, we're all trying to figure out how to live together. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to watch movies now, and but I really think specifically animated films, or really any feature that I'm in. No, but I think a movie like this, I think, is such a fun movie to see in the theater. You want to see the beautiful animation, you want to see all the colors, you want to see all the action, and going to the movie theater, bring your kids, bring your grandparents, bring your cousins, bring your uncles, even your Uncle Festers. Bring your Uncle Festers, maybe my sister will let me come with their kids and see it. There's something about seeing a movie like this in the theater that you can't quite match on a screen at home or on an iPad or on your phone. It's just not quite the same.
Well, I know that for me, I was aware of the TV show. I had seen it a few times, and I had seen some of the original Charles Addams comics. But really, for me, it made a major impact on my psyche when I saw Raul Julia as Gomez Addams, because he's one of my favorite actors. And so to see him play that role with such relish was definitely made an impression on me when I was young. And so to get to play that role and as an homage to him has been really special. Yeah, it's been very exciting being able to portray this version of Gomez Addams. It's my first time really lending my voice to a character of this size, not only physically, but as far as the story goes, and such an iconic character, and also being a father to a young kid. Being excited to get to share this with him, it's just been really, really fun. Yeah. I mean, Gomez. He's a very passionate, romantic character filled with a lot of bombast and big declarations, and so it's really fun to just attack that kind of energy, and also just so funny. But ultimately, he's a real family man, and that's just been really fun to embody. For me, working on finding Gomez's voice, the script was a big clue because they come from the old country. It says they emigrate from what looks like Eastern Europe or somewhere vague out there, and they've come to the United States, and so it was important that there was something about where he came from in his voice, and at the same time, I couldn't escape the my inspiration from Raul Julia as well. So there's definitely something that's a little bit arch and theatrical and presentational about him, but there's also something that's just, there's something that he just like loves chewing words and, taking up air in the room. For me, what was really exciting about being part of this was the take that Greg and Conrad had, that they were going to go back to the original conceptions of the characters from those old comics, the old Chaz Addams comics. And so, to see Morticia, or as Gomez says, Morticia, and Gomez, and Pugsley and Wednesday, to see those drawings and those characterizations of them, and to see those come to life has been really exciting because they're so strange, they're so unique. The relationship between Gomez and Morticia, it's just deep soulmates. From the moment they saw each other, he is infatuated with her. Every hour his love for her grows, and she can do no wrong. and so it's just two people that just know each other so well and have come together, in this crazy world, these people that are so different from everyone else yet so alike to each other. And so they just hold on to each other. I think it's a really beautiful romance between these two. Morticia, she is Gomez's soulmate, his love, and Charlize Theron voices Morticia, so that's nice. And they just have a really wonderful relationship, and she's, she kind of withholds and is this strange mystery to him, and it just makes him want her all the more. And he's always eager to please her and wants her to be happy. Yes, I think for me, especially right now with everything that's going on in the world and in this country, the fact that I could be part of a movie that celebrates differences, that celebrates people that come from other places, that create a life here, and that actually that's what makes this country in particular so incredible, is being unique, being an individual, celebrating the individual no matter how weird you are, and also knowing that no matter how strange someone seems or how different, they're a family. And they love each other in their own special way, and I think that's a really great message to have out there. What I can say is that I'm so excited for fans of the original Chaz Addams comics, fans of the movies, fans of the TV show. I think everyone's going to get a bit of what they've loved about the Addams over the years. That family, that incredible, strange, kooky, spooky family is there with all their strangeness and their love and their passion and their weirdness. And I think it's just going to not only bring in the fans of the original, but also make a lot of new ones.
I don't think there's anyone I could run into on the street today or anywhere who wouldn't have a connection to the Addams Family. They are an iconic, classic American fictional family. And I grew up watching them. I grew up watching the television series with John Astin and Carolyn Jones. And I loved them as a little girl. I was so struck by the passion between Gomez and Morticia. I thought, if that's married life, I want that. He adores her. And the family, they all adore each other and support each other. It was sort of a family you wanted to become a part of because they were so cool, and they made the unusual or the out of the ordinary acceptable. It's very surreal to be a part of this incarnation of the Addams Family. That I am now a part of the Addams Family legacy is a huge deal for me. It's pretty cool. If I had kids, they would think I was cool. I don't have kids, but I have friends who have kids, so they're gonna think I'm pretty cool. It's really a movie about family values. It's about inclusivity. It's about people being accepted for who they are. It's about embracing your individuality. It's about autonomy. It's about acceptance. It's about families. It's about family love and families supporting each other and family traditions. And it's about all great things like that are associated with family. The things that we, everybody wants to be part of a family. Everybody wants to have a good, supportive family. And the Addams family, they are one of the best families out there. The cast, you could actually cast this cast in a regular movie of the Addams family. They're all perfect for their parts in every way. Oscar Isaac and Charlize as Gomez and Morticia, perfect. Uncle Fester, Nick Kroll is brilliantly funny. The kids are brilliant. It's a really great cast.